Hello critters, I'm Creature, and today we're reviewing Swift Shuriken Llamurai. He's an event hero from the Halloween set, which of course means you can get him during the Hexylvania Adventure season. And what he does is just makes it so every time you use a Shuriken, you have a lower cooldown time of 65%, which means that you can do it every 5 seconds, roughly around so. You might be asking, is Shuriken even good at the endgame? Which, usually, no. But I want to see if it actually holds up or not. Now, I know everyone might say that it's bad, but of course, with me, I actually want to go out and test it and see if it can be applicable in any way or form. So, we're going to go in with this build, which is just Swift Shuriken Llamurai in the lead with round trip, so it returns and hits the enemies twice in a row, just if needed. Then we have Cascade for 1 extra flowing star, and the final throw, by the way. So instead of it being star, 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 it's star, 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 then 2 stars. So actually, it doesn't sound as it doesn't read as it does, essentially. It's an extra star at the final throw. And then we have Train Throw, which decreases the energy use. And since we are in a nature storm, we'll probably be attacked more often. And if we're attacked by nature enemies, we lose our energy. So this is pretty useful to have, so we don't have to be as reliant on energy. Then we do also have Corrosive Stars, which applies Affliction, which does 3 base energy damage per second for 6 seconds, a maximum of 3. So if we pierce an enemy with the shurikens 3 times, there'll be Affliction will be applied 3 times, essentially. At least from what I understand. I have been testing this. Then we have Ghoulish Cackle, which increases our ability, depending on our missing health, by 37.5%. And then in the last slot, we have Dennis, but that's not who I actually mean to use for this slot. In the final slot, we actually are meant to have Fuel for the Fallen. That's so every time we get an elimination, we restore 6 energy every 3 seconds. Duration refreshes with additional eliminations. This will make it so we just get constant energy from eliminations, which, unlike Anti-Cuddle Sarah, it's not based on melee, it's just any elimination. So this will help out if we're just stacking it normally or not. So that's the loadout. And for the weapons we'll be using, we're not using anything really special. We have a 144 Ancient Launcher for just kind of picking off enemies. It is still bugged where it only pins 1 enemy and then explodes instantly. You can't multi-pin. A way to fix it though is to load into Blitz or Battle Royale or I believe Creative. Anything outside of Save the World you load into, it might fix it, I believe. And then after you load back into Save the World, it should be fixed. That's what I've experienced. So if you're experiencing the same bug as me, where it doesn't pin all the enemies and it just kind of pins one, then it blows up, that is a way to fix it. And then we're running a Bright Core Siege Breaker. I've been doing some testing and comparing, and it seems like the Siege Breaker isn't really affected by what crafting material you use. I think it's due to the fire rate just being pretty high as is. So if you're just trying to save some Sunbeam, use Bright Core Copy, but that's not the point of this video. So these are the weapons I'm using. And then of course we have a Speed Baron for getting around, but that's not really a weapon, that's more of a utility. So yeah. Also, a fun reminder, I am live on Twitch as per usual. I go live about every time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, I want to say. Or 9 p.m., like around those times is when I go live. So if you want to stop by and say hi, do so. I really appreciate it. And let's get into this review, shall we? Alrighty, we are in-game, and since we don't have to craft anything, we can just get right to it. Now, let's see if we can find some targets to test on, yes? So right up ahead, we do have a little bit of a crowd, which is really good for shurikens. So if it doesn't do the bug where it doesn't actually throw any shurikens, we can actually do damage. It is actually right now bugged, it seems, at least for a controller, where if you try to do the ability, it sometimes just won't do it. So that is a bit of a problem we have to work around. But as you can see, the damage is a little moderate, I'd say. It's not the best in the world. But it can definitely help out if you're, out of bullets or something. Like, let's say, after firing my assault rifle and there's still enemies, I can just quickly swap out to my shurikens and kind of just deal with them. It killed the normal husk right there, but it is definitely slowly killing the other one. Now, of course, like I said, it definitely falls off at some points, but as you see right there, it did clear out that crowd pretty quickly. I don't know if that'll be the same once we actually do a defense, because the defense always raises the enemy's difficulty to 254. So, it might change, it might not. Or the experience, power level will change obviously, but of course experience might not. Let's see if we can find some missed sponsors to showcase the ability more so. So that is something you might want to take into consideration. Oh, there's a Smasher. There's a smasher. Let's see if we can get it down. Come down to me. So let's just go in there with it. And now you can see it took about, I want to say, a quarter ick of its health. I do believe these have the ability to crit. So if you get a crit, it might actually kill it faster than that. But it took 3 uses of the ability, and since it recharges pretty quickly, honestly, fairly reliable. Now, of course, once the objective starts, we're going to get harder enemies, so then it might not be as reliable. But, you know, it's good for when you're out of bullets and you just kind of need to clear out an area. So, it's usable in a sense. Now, I wouldn't run it as like a primary build like I am trying to do here. Even though I said earlier this isn't really a primary ability thing, but you get what I mean. We're kind of we have a build kind of specializing around it. So it is kind of trying to primary it. Not really though. We're using other weapons. We're not really trying to be reliant on it. And the glitch has happened, so yeah, it's really weird. It hasn't happened before. I'm only noticing it happening now. Also there, if they're moving too fast, you might just miss all your shurikens. Then, yep, there we go. It happened again. What if I have a pickaxe out? Does that happen if I just have my pickaxe out? So I think what's trying to do is it's trying to switch and reload at the same time and try to activate the ability. So it might just be having a weird, like, bug. Or it might just be not happening at all due to a bug. It's really weird. It is just really weird. And my assault rifle's about to break. That's lovely. Now that's just lovely. There's just so much going on. But I'll see you if we find some more mist monsters. Right up ahead we have another, you know, smasher. So if we can just get it to leave its little dormant. Okay, we missed all our shurikens. That's not fun. But if we just throw it into him and let them bounce back, you can see that it does do a little bit more damage. Now, I don't think the damage is 1-to-1 when it does the bounce back. But as you can see, it is fairly good as just a little bit of an assistant tool. Something just an assist if you just run out of bullets in your mag, or you're just kind of trying to target something big real quick. Like right there, you know, I was reloading, but there's still an enemy, so just pull out the shurikens and it's dead. Not bad. The same thing goes here. So, you know, something you don't primary, but definitely something you can use as a utility. That is something I don't really hear people talk about it. They just say, you know, it's bad, don't do it. But if you're looking for something for more utility, once you're reloading, it can work. Though there's a exception from just firing and then pulling out a bazooka. But if you don't want to be barbaric, you can absolutely do this. Okay, but... Ah! Well, the objective has started. And let's see if we can just kind of go in with a shuriken, which I don't think we actually hit anything that time, sadly. Just let's see. Oh, here we go. We have to get a big old crowd right here. And as you see, it is one-tapping some of the normal huskies, though, which is very nice to see. And also these activate. I always forget that. But I'm just trying to see mist monsters in, like, big crowds. That's what I'm honestly waiting for. Oh, there we go again with the shurikens, I believe that was. I think that was shurikens. I'll probably add if it wasn't or not. I wasn't paying attention to any damage reticles. But as you can see, it's not the fastest killer, and it does leave, like, shielded enemies alive and husky husks. But, you know, you come in here and you just kind of do it. It does seem to do fine at times. Now, honestly, that did fine. It did leave it low, but of course, we're not using it as, like, a primary thing. We're kind of just utilizing it for its piercing and affliction application. So if we just keep doing it, it does fine. Let's see if we find some big targets, hopefully. I hope. Because that's what really is the bread and butter of these type of builds, is bigger targets. Also reviewing, it's also kind of the big bread and butter of it. Because I can review almost tiny enemies I want, but it's really fun to do it on big ones. Because they're kind of the challenge zombie, per se. Oh, a taker. I'm personally about to die. I have no clue if that was me. I don't think that was me. I think the Loadouts got to it first, which is a little unfortunate. But not bad. At least the defense is doing what it needs to do. Oh, wow, I missed most of those with that shielder. Not shielder. Right, Husky. I don't know why I forgot its name for a second. It is fine. It's not as bad as people tend to paint it as, but if you use it more of a utility, like I've been saying, it does fine. As like a little bit of a backup. Not something you have to use as like your main damage. Also, if you actually hit your enemies. I wish there was a hero that made it so shurikens could go through like walls and shielders and stuff. I think that would be nice. Which I think, oh yeah, by default they go by shielders, but they don't go through riots. So honestly, if you're trying to pick off like a riot, not a riot, but a shielder, you can use this. It will work, as you can see right there. So, you know, there's way to apply this to endgame missions. It isn't just plain up useless like some try to paint it as. But definitely don't try to primary it. That's not its thing. I've been saying that this whole time. Do you get it? Do you understand? It's not a primary. Don't primary the ability. It's just utility. But then again, you know, a rocket launcher could probably do about the same amount of work. Just not as recklessly, at least. You know, that's about destroying the nature around us, and yeah, that's totally the point of Save the World, is to protect nature. Actually, oh, it took care of that blaster pretty well. Actually, here, let's actually, I think that was not very bit damaged. But honestly, this fine against... wait, did I say takers? That was a blaster. But this fine against blasters. But yeah. Let's go in here. And I think I missed all those. That's not fun. Let's try to get that blaster. I missed every single one. It does not do bad against blasters. That is actually very refreshing to see. Also, little creature fun fact. My first ever legendary hero and primary hero in this game was actually Llamurai. Because at the time, it was the first one I got, and I was like, I'll take it. What do you mean I can double jump? I didn't know I could double jump. Oh, I have shurikens? That's awesome. Now back then, hero abilities were actually tied to their rating. So if you were, you know, 1 star, you only had 1 ability. For 2 star, you had 2 abilities. I believe they changed that when Fortnite STW, Save the World, went free to play. But yeah, back then, you didn't actually get all your abilities once you got the hero. You actually had to level them up to get them. And you only really unlocked all of them once you hit Canny Valley. So that's something, that's a something little fun fact. Well, I guess it's fun if you just like weird little things, but you know, it's fun to explain. It really is. What if we just, you know, keep playing? You can see that, you know, it's fine. It's not the big bad evil of Save the World. Now, we'll get to Smasher, obviously. Don't be using shurikens. I think as I was saying, this is not going to really kill them. Maybe if they're lower level, but for the actual defense portion where they're kind of, you know, extra beefy, just don't. just don't. Try to use your weapons and, like, actual good things. Now, I think the bug happened. I don't think we gotta use our shurikens there. Now, they do seem to be chunking out a little bit of the health. Not a lot, but, like, a little bit at times. Which is decent. But definitely not a mini-boss killer. I'll pop the 3 mini-boss killers on screen. I'm making a little, like, image for it instead of just repeating it every single time. I hope you like it. I'm not really, what's the word? Graph maker or something? Like, I don't know. Wow, that was pinpoint accuracy if I've ever seen it. Wow, okay. That was personal. That was personal. I refuse to hear otherwise. That was just anti-creature tanker. That's just rude. That's just rude. But honestly, I think I've been able to show what you just need to see. So I think I'll see you in lobby for the final analysis, because I've been seeing this whole time. So Swift, Llama, Rurokai, or whatever, you know, Llama dude, you know, orange and black and a dude. Honestly, I would love this as a Fortnite skin. I would really love this as a Fortnite skin. I'd probably rock it a lot. But is he worthwhile in the endgame? Yes, but no. When it comes to a lot of time, you have specialized build for the weapons you're using. You're never usually using a build like this where the weapon is just kind of doing its basic damage and then you have something that's a little bit of a backup. In that case, you usually use like a rocket launcher, a sword, or like just whatever, like a shotgun even. You're not usually using abilities as backup. So if you don't want to use something for backup, like maybe using like the one music spear, I forgot its name, but the one that gives out buffs, and then using like assault rifle and then a baron, maybe then it could be good, but you're usually never rocking that in normal missions. But you know, it works. It's not as bad as the people around you paint it as. It's not absolute garbolium. It's not the best, but it's better than what they paint it as. Well, this next review will be scary, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I hope you liked, subscribed, and maybe hyped the post a bit. Not the post, but the video. It helps out the channel, and also don't forget I'm live on Twitch often, and also watching there also supports me. And I hope you'll enjoy the video. Goodbye.